Tim, should we tell the listeners how to join the Golf Week Amateur Tour?
Yes, of course. We should probably do it now before we forget, though.
I agree. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.
And remember, this podcast can be found on all the major platforms. So make sure you like, download, and share it with all your friends and family.
Chris, that's a great idea. Now, on to the show. Welcome to the Golf Week Amateur Tour, the podcast. We are your hosts, Tim Newman and Chris Rocha. As the oldest and largest amateur golf tour in the country, we put on individual stroke play golf tournaments that are handicapped by flights in 48 markets across the country. The Golf Week Amateur Tour, where amateurs play like pros.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode. Had a great weekend, had an event. Tim, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm doing good. Had a really good weekend. For the first time, weather here was nice. Kind of had a relaxing weekend. Tournament-wise, I think there were a total of 25 Golf Week tournaments, plus the regional, and I think 4 or 5 senior events on Sunday, plus a couple of 2-day senior events.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to scroll through for live scoring to get my events on, had to give it a couple of finger flicks on the iPad, so I can imagine how many actual events were actually happening out there.
Yeah, I saw your event this weekend. I was watching.
No, man, this course, so we played a course called Black Mesa up north of Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's always in top 3 of the state. Beautiful course. I mean, you want to talk about pristine fairways and pristine greens, top notch. But there's so many blind shots. It makes it hard to have in my opinion, to have it as a tournament course. You know how there's tournament courses and there's fun resort courses. I think this is more of a resort course. It was our first time out there. Scores were high. It was a struggle all day for everybody, but we had a good time. And then this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're having our local amateur championship out there for another group, and the leader is -6. And I think our leader after 2 days was not even close to +6. So shows the difference in skill level. But I mean, the course is nice. It was a great course, but it was tough. But
you're getting ready to go on your regional trip here in a couple days, aren't you?
Yes, I'm excited. Get to board the plane on Thursday. By the time everyone's listening to this, I'll be back and hopefully came back with some hardware because that'll be nice.
Yeah, let's hope so. So where are you playing on Friday?
So Friday we're going to play a course in Kansas City yet. Haven't really decided. Saturday we're going to be doing the par 3 course up at Big Cedar. And probably just, hit the range for a little bit. Sunday is going to be my fun day because that's where we're going to play Paynes Valley. And I think I'm going to be taking more pictures and actually playing golf, which is okay with me.
Hey, that's all right, too.
Then, of course,
you got to have some fun.
Right. I think the pro shop's going to take up most of my funds that I've saved up for this trip. And then Monday, Tuesday is the regional at the other 2 courses. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited.
That's awesome. I know you're looking forward to it. And, we're going to talk to you when you're out there, probably on Sunday. Maybe talk to a few of the other players and the who's the tour director that's doing this?
Yeah, the tour director is Jerry Homishak. Excited to meet him. I don't think I've ever met him before. If I have, I apologize. So many faces I've seen the last year just because of the podcast alone. But yeah, excited. We've been in contact, and I can't wait to get out there and show these Midwesterns what El Paso golfers can bring. I'm taking a couple guys with me, so it'll be fun.
That's great. When you're out there and we're doing this, and make sure I can see some of the sites as I'm talking to you guys too. I'll be stuck here in my little office. I'll be living vicariously through you guys.
Yeah, I will have my iPhone with me, and I'll be sending you pictures, and we'll definitely have some views while we're on the patio.
So before that, we have a regular rules segment, and let's welcome back Roger to the show. Roger, good talking to you again, buddy.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Chris. Glad to be here. Having a good week, and we've had a couple of tournaments on our local tour since I've spoken with you guys last. Yep.
Yeah, let's hear about that, because I know you played today, but let's hear about your golf before we start talking about rules.
Yep. So U.S. Open weekend, our tour director, Lyle, he has a tour. He calls it the Tidewater Masters during the U.S. Open week, and he gives out the blue jacket for not a green jacket, but a blue one. And the interesting thing about that was, so we've got a guy, his name is Matt Spruill, and I'm hoping that we can get him on the show. He's kind of a quiet guy, but he's in our champ flight. I think last year he won 10 of the 12 events that he entered on the Tidewater Tour, but he broke a record during the U.S. Open week for our tour. Like I said, it was called the Masters. He shot 10 under par over 2 days, 68-66 to win by 14 strokes, which is the largest advantage a player has ever had on the Tidewater Tour. And it was pretty amazing 2 rounds. So that was up in Williamsburg at the Williamsburg National Golf Club that always treats us really nice. So it was an amazing round for his weekend.
All right, Lyle, you got to help us out here. We got to get him on. That's a pretty good accomplishment right there.
Yeah. I was hoping to see him after the round. So we had a round today. Once a year, we play at a place called Greenbrier Country Club, not Greenbrier, the one you heard of probably in, I guess it's West Virginia, but this is a local country club, and it has a Monday event. It's a little smaller field. We had about 90 players today, and he ended up taking second. And I hope to see him after the round, but I never got a chance to see him to see if he'd like to come on the show and speak to us. So, yeah, you might want to. I'm going to try to talk to him, and then Lyle mentioned to me that, if we just talk to him in person, maybe we can get him on the show.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Roger,
yeah.
Roger, real quick, 90 players isn't a small field, okay? There's some of us that 90 people, we would be jumping for joy. So I just want to throw that out there. 90 is a huge accomplishment, regardless.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we had 24 in the B flight today, and our B flight is usually the largest flight, and we usually have 40 to 48 players in our B flight. But so today was just 24. And I was another middle of the pack performance. I've tied for 11th, which, it's kind of funny because you think, God, I didn't really shoot a very good score. And then you see what the scores were. And it's like, well, 11th is right in the middle. I want to be higher than that, but it's just the way it was. And I shouldn't feel so bad about it.
No.
Yeah. So the winning score for B flight was 78, which is, that's really kind of an average B flight score too. So winning score, I should say. Yeah. And right in the middle of the pack there. I mean,
right.
I mean, look at some of those scores. Yeah. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Very interesting. The guy Lyle runs a Richmond tour also. The same gentleman, he won the Richmond event on Saturday, so he's on a hot streak. So we're all saying, move him up,
move him up.
We'll see. Battlefield promotion. So we felt really good for him, though. It was great. Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't go to Missouri for the regional.
Right.
If he's on a hot streak like that.
I know. Yep. The guys are trying to get Lava Cup points, and they're all talking about which regionals they're going to go to. And I guess there's one where you have to stay at the hotel that they I forget where it's at. But
that's St. Simon's
resort.
Yeah, St. Simon's, and I think that's Labor Day weekend.
Okay, yeah. I said it's going to be interesting to see who plays where. Yeah. So I would just say that. So Tidewater has had the most rain for the first week of summer that we've had in quite a few years. So there's been a lot of temporary water, and golfers probably refer to that as what used to be called casual water. Now they call it temporary water. And that falls under the abnormal ground conditions rule. So that came into play a lot this past weekend. And one thing in particular that came up, so what do you do if your ball is lost in temporary water? And it's another one of these things, it's the player's judgment. Is it known to be in that temporary water or virtually certain? Known or virtually certain. And that means like 95% probability that it's lost in that temporary water, and not just lost somewhere else, that players believe that it's in the water. Right. So if that is the case, there's no penalty on the player. You get free relief from the temporary water situation. You find the closest point no closer to the green, and you do get free relief for that situation. So I only bring that up because we've had so much rain here, and there was standing water on the course, this temporary water. And it happened quite a few times to take relief from the water, not necessarily that the balls were all lost in there. You might find your ball, but you take relief. Find your closest point, and then you get a club length from that point.
So explain what free relief means and how that's actually measured out.
Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's got to be fast and got to be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Srixon.
So you're right. So the temporary water, and keep in mind that temporary water could even be water next to what is a pond that's overflowing, let's say. Let's say you have a pond that's normally at a bank and it overflows and goes even farther. That spot between where the pond is and where it's overflowing is also considered temporary water. So temporary water is, the water that you can see around your feet. You can't stomp up and down. Mushy ground, they say, is not considered temporary water. It's water that you can see around your ball, see around your feet if you're standing there. So you're allowed to find the place closest, but not, closest to where your ball is. And again, as always, no closer to the hole, where that condition does not exist anymore. You do not see water around your feet. Where you're dropping your ball, there's not water there. So you find that point, that's your reference point, but then you get a full club length from that point to drop your ball.
Right.
And then you get free relief, no penalty. You get free relief. And it doesn't always mean you're going to get as most rules are, it doesn't mean you're going to get a great lie. It might be in the rough and you were in the fairway, that kind of thing, but you still get the free relief in the general area. Yeah. And in a bunker, bunkers are kind of funny that, you might still have to play your ball. You might only have a sliver of sand that qualifies where you're not going to get where you're going to get free relief. You do get to drop the ball because there's water in a bunker. You do have an option, though, to drop outside the bunker if you can't find a spot, but you are going to get penalized one stroke. So, like I said, you find the place closest, but no closer to the hole from where the temporary water lay, and then you get to drop without penalty and play on from there.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that you find that nearest point no closer to the hole plus one club length, and a lot of guys will say it's two club lengths, or it's complete relief this or whatever, but they have to understand it's one club length from that
right
from that point.
I guess what it's one club length, like when you get that reference point, but it's almost like two club lengths because you get like we're going to talk about an embedded ball later, but the club length could be on both sides of that reference point, for example. So when we talk about a reference point for an embedded ball, it is almost like two club lengths, but a club length on either side, let's say, not 2 club lengths going both, going east or going west, let's say. It's 1 club length on either side. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's just good to know. I don't know, where you guys are playing, if you've had any conditions like that, but it's a very good rule to know, because you don't want to have to play out of those bad conditions.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain down here.
Okay.
But it's like I said, it was nice this weekend. Looks like it's going to be nice this coming week. So hopefully all this rain has moved on, and we get decent weather. And it never rains in El Paso.
No, I was about to ask the question of what is rain, because we only see it when we travel up to Ruidoso, and even then we don't even know what to do with it.
Aren't you having a heat wave out there or something? I thought I read about that, or somewhere out southwest is having a heat wave.
This whole week is going to be above 100 every day.
Ugh.
So
Wow.
I'm glad my flight out is at 6 a.m. so I don't get any delays from the planes overheating or whatever not. So, it is getting pretty bad. Everyone's being asked, stay inside, stay cool, keep your pets inside. It's you can feel it when you open the door.
Yeah.
Well, Roger. That's a good segue into the embedded ball rule that from the U.S. Open that has caused a lot of controversy with Rory and did he cheat? What was he given? Right. The star exception.
Right.
So why don't you go over that for us?
Yeah. So I want to say a few things about that first of all, and the one big thing. So like within, probably you guys saw it too. Within 30 minutes, 60 minutes, chat groups, 200, comments. Oh, that's he got a free relief and he shouldn't have, or he cheated, or all of that stuff. And I just want to say that, the TV angle, first of all, was something we couldn't see on TV. Really, what was happening there?
Mm-hmm.
For people to be saying, "Oh, he dropped closer to the hole." This was the U.S. Open. They have the premier rules officials on the planet at the U.S. Open. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I very much doubt 100% that he dropped any closer to the hole, for one thing. And this is what was debated on the, so many chat groups, and so many people had problems with it. I listened actually to another podcast that there's a guy, I hope you guys don't mind. It's his podcast name is, I think, Big Boy Golf Pants. So you have to wear your big boy golf pants.
Okay.
He called into the USGA, and then he recorded the whole thing. And he wasn't he wasn't saying that there was a rules infraction, but he kind of was at the same time. And I recognized the voice on the USGA end who was responding, and he was just great. I mean, he kept his calm, and this guy went on for at least 15 minutes with him, and he recorded the whole thing. And he was kind of saying that, like you were saying, Rory got star treatment, that he shouldn't have gotten the treatment. But the guy on the other end at the USGA, he basically went through all the steps, and he basically did not say that anything was done for Rory that wouldn't have been done for any other player. Whether that's true or not, I mean, I can't say it, but I also know that, like I said, the top rules officials were there, and now maybe we could just go over what happened.
Right.
And whether I think the big thing was that you couldn't really see the angles on TV. And I tried to find videos on this. I saw some videos of it about the closer to the whole thing. But where he dropped, that was the interesting thing. So
before you go forward, Roger, on that, let's just say that he did drop closer to the hole. The rules official would have said that was an improper drop, right? Because the rules official was right there.
Yeah, they would have made him redrop. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So they wouldn't have allowed that to have even gone any further.
Correct. Yeah. And I think what happened was so many people saw it on TV and said it just looked like it was closer to the hole, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it really wasn't. Yeah. Well, I can't say that, but that was my opinion. And like you're saying, the rules officials would have corrected him. Yeah. Because there's not a penalty for dropping it he gets to redrop, just like you're saying. They would have corrected it. Yeah. It's not like he did it on his own and then just played on. There were people standing right there that saw what he was doing. And like you said, he would have been corrected by the rules official.
Right.
So for an embedded ball, and an embedded ball has to be below the surface of if it's just in the grass, but not below the surface of the ground, then it's considered embedded. That was one big thing that came up also, like, how did that ball get embedded in the side of a bunker? But they determined it was embedded. I can't question that fact, or we can't, because the rules official said it was embedded. And if they're saying it's embedded, then it's embedded. And, somebody watching from TV could just, how did a ball that was hit from coming in at the angle, that's what this guy was talking about, coming in at an angle, how could that be embedded? And that's not for us to judge. That the rules official and the folks that were there said, yes, it's embedded. So let's just say that, yes, that ball was embedded below the surface of the ground there. So you find the point, the reference point, directly behind where the ball was embedded. Now, in some cases, and this may have been the case with Rory's ball, they're saying that he got to drop the ball farther than a full club length away. There is a clarification in the rules that if that spot, just due to the nature of, let's say it was a penalty area that had that the contours of the penalty area didn't allow for a spot right behind the ball to be determined, you may be able to determine that spot, that reference point. It could be significantly away from right where that ball was embedded. And that's another thing I don't think a lot of people understand or know that. That is a clarification in the rule that if you can't find a spot right directly behind the ball, your reference point can be away from that embedded ball spot. But again, I didn't see exactly where that ball was embedded. I mean, I saw where it was embedded, but if that was the case, you still get a full club length on either side of that reference point to drop your ball. And then it has to stay within the one club length after you drop it. So if he dropped it and it rolled out of the reference, rolled out of the one club length area on either side, then he'd drop it again. And then you place the ball from that point. And I guess what happened in his case was it gave him such a better advantage from where he got to hit the ball than where the embedded ball was originally. A lot of people had a problem with it. They said it was farther than a club length. Now, whether it was, I don't know. I mean, that's, like I said, the rules official was right there. But that is what you do. You find the reference point directly behind the ball, and then one club length on either side, and you get to drop the ball within that reference point area. How did you guys see it?
Well, I saw it just kind of like how you did, although I always thought that the bunker started like at, where it's cut out at. So I saw, where even though there wasn't stand there on that edge, I thought that was still considered the bunker.
No, yeah, that's good to know that. I mean, yeah, the wall that the grass wall is not considered part of the bunker. Yeah. It's just, and you can't have an embedded ball. Just as a side note, you can't have an embedded ball your ball can be embedded, but you can't use the embedded ball rule in a bunker or a penalty area. It doesn't apply to those areas, but it does apply to the face of the bunker. That's not considered in the bunker itself.
So where does the bunker actually start? Where the line of the sand is?
Yeah, where the line of the sand is. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. You has to be in there. Yeah. And there's I'd have to get that gets kind of really technical, but yes, the face, the wall is not considered part of the bunker itself. Yeah. So based on that, he was allowed to drop in an area that was so much more favorable. And just imagine if that ball just hadn't been, maybe if the ball had stayed there, but they determined that it wasn't embedded. Imagine what kind of shot he would have had to play then. He for a pro, he'd probably try to hit it anyway. For us, we'd probably have to try to take an unplayable ball. Right? Yeah. But in this case,
I'm trying to hit that. I ain't a smart golfer.
Yeah.
Well, Well, Wyndham Clark hit a ball that I would have said, why don't you just take an unplayable there? Because he was in that tall grass where you couldn't even see the ball, and he hit it and didn't even advance it at all the first time.
You wonder sometimes watching, why don't they take an unplay? I guess, some of the professionals think they can get it. I think I saw Rory on, maybe it wasn't this tournament, but tournament before this, that, he took a swipe at it and completely missed the ball. Yeah. That's, taking an unplayable. We had that in the tournament today. A guy, he was up by the tree root, and he didn't want to try to hit it. He could have tried a backhand stroke, but he took the unplayable and had a much better chance to hit the ball. Mm-hmm. But, on TV, you can't even see the ball, and then they still swipe at it. But, a lot of times you're watching the guys get it out miraculously, and they hit a great shot, not like us. So.
Exactly. And that's why they make millions of dollars, and we're lucky to get $20 off of skin.
That's right. Yeah. I really did try to find, like, it. The interesting thing to me was about the whole Rory thing. Like, it was very hard to find videos. Like, I went to YouTube and I tried to find actual videos of the whole thing, what happened, but it was hard to find. And also, like, he marked it with T's, like he marked with extra T's, and people were talking about that. Like, why did he put one like above the ball and all this? And it just, that kind of confused things a little bit. But according to, the rules and the rules official, he acted properly. And I think the biggest thing I kept reading was that it was more than a club length. And again, if the rules official was right there, I don't see how it could be, right, unless she just didn't see something. But I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, you got to think that they're right on top of it. They're not letting anything happen that isn't kosher. So
so that all falls under abnormal course condition. The same as that's the same. Well, embedded ball is different, but embedded ball, abnormal conditions, you get the one club length on either side of the reference point. And one other thing, I think you had asked about the Wyndham Clark thing. Now, I didn't see that, but about taking your stance, you don't. Let's say your ball is in a bush or something. Mm-hmm. You're not automatically going to get the best stance that you can. You're not entitled, and this is just how the rules are written, you're not entitled to have a great stance. You can back into a bush. You can try to get a stance the best of your abilities, but most golfers know you can't be stamping down on twigs and branches so that the ball is clear at your feet. You can't be breaking off branches. Right. To get to the ball. You're allowed to like move branches and, like I said, back in, I'll just say gingerly, so that you can get to a ball, but you have to be careful about that. And I see that broken on more than one occasion when folks have to get into a ball that's, like, say, in a penalty area or in the woods. So you're really not supposed to do all that. You're supposed to do it as there's actually a term they use, but I just like to say gently as possible.
Yeah. And you talk about video. I was looking for video of that too to be able to share, and I couldn't find it. The only video I found was a bunch of homemade videos, where they use their phone to video the TV screen of when Wyndham dropped the ball, and they said it was moving when he hit it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But again, the rules official was there when he dropped the ball. I didn't see it move based on on some of those videos, but I think it's just you have people watching TV that maybe just don't understand what's going on and want to complain. But I don't understand how, if a rules official was right there, it may be different if there wasn't a rules official there, but if the rules official is right there watching this, they're not going to allow it to go forward if you've done something wrong.
Right. No. And we make mistakes too. The rules official, if you haven't made a mistake sometime, but for the U.S. Open and for everything that was going on, like you said, I doubt there was anything going wrong there. Yeah. And it's you're right on the spot there, But like the Rory case, that took so long.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a rushed thing. That they were there for, it seemed like an eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for to do something, to say there was something wrong in that case, I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
So those were some interesting rulings. Again, it's good to know this time of year with all the rain, and you're going to get a lot of them. Just like temporary water, you're going to get a lot of embedded balls. Of course, today we had plenty of them at the course we played at.
Let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Srixon.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
Oh, Roger, there was one other thing, and I don't know if you still have this on top of your mind or not. The handicap issues, if it's a lift clean in place or.
Oh yeah. So I found out about that. And you're talking about, like, should you be adjusting scores and that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
So what I wrote in about it, basically, and they're basically saying, because you're lift cleaning and placing, even though the conditions are bad, and that's why you're putting that in place to begin with,
mm-hmm.
Right.
Lift clean in place is basically putting you back to square one, so that it's like eliminating the fact that it is bad conditions. And they said
mm-hmm.
that no, you wouldn't adjust the scores, because the reason you're having lift clean in place is to make it more comparable with a normal day. The only time they said they would adjust the course rating is, let's say you had to have, let's say a hole got shortened because there was construction going on, or that for some reason you had to change the course. It was a 400-yard par 4, and then you had to change it to a 300-yard par 4 because, let's say, there was a drainage issue and they had to, they had construction vehicles
mm-hmm.
out there. So then you would change the course rating. But for lift clean in place, they came back and actually said, no, you do not change it for that type of situation.
Yeah, that's what makes sense to me, and that was kind of what I was, telling some of the other folks, because it, like I said, you're taking the handicap out of it. The handicap being the course conditions, the weather, whatever it is, and actually improving your lie or your ability to hit the ball.
Right. So one thing on tour, which is a little different than the USGA handicap, and you may or may not know this, they do a course condition when you submit your scores, and then they see all the scores for that day.
mm-hmm.
For a course, there is a scale of 1 to 3 that they do put that into the calculation, and it does adjust slightly due to poor course conditions. If they see that all the scores that day were, maybe 5 strokes, I'll just throw this out there. Let's say on average 5 strokes higher than normal,
mm-hmm.
and they know that the course, that there was a rain and wind, then they do put something into the algorithm, or however they calculate it on the GIN system, the USGA system for calculating that. We don't have that sophistication on our tour, but
no, and we don't have the time to do it either, to wait until it's done. We're turning over these scores, in 24 hours. So
sure. Yeah. So just interesting to know. That's kind of a new thing for the handicap system too. That course condition thing only came about within the past few years that they added that. Yeah.
All right, Roger. Thanks so much for another great episode. A lot of good information. Now I know where a bunker starts.
There you go. Yeah. That's and also the thing about temporary water can be extending from a regular pond. We have some, with sea level rise, if you want to call it all that, we get a lot more temporary water in this area than we used to. And we have a couple of courses that I play regularly where the pond gets over the normal banks of that pond, and it becomes temporary water in that case. So it's good to know that you can get relief for that.
Yeah.
Not so much up in Tidewater area, but down here, if the creeks and lakes and rivers overflow, you could have other things coming out there besides just the water. So I'm definitely taking relief.
Yeah. One of my Father's Day presents was a kayak this year. I don't have enough going on, and they gave me that for Father's Day, and they said, but only if you go in the ones that don't have the snakes and the moccasins and all that stuff. So I said, okay, yeah. So that'll be fun, because there's a couple that go through this course that I play at regularly. There's little boat, no motorized, the little John boats, I guess, go through there, but the guys in kayaks are always out there. So that'll be me one of these days.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate being on again.
All right, bud. Well, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
Hey, Tim, we're here in Missouri at Big Cedar Lodge. We're doing our first ever on-site interview for the regional we have up here, but I see that you've been on the beach. You look a little red, enjoying your little vacation.
Yeah, spent a little bit too much time on the beach, but not enough sunscreen. How about that?
I've been there.
How was your trip up?
Trip up was good. We played a couple courses on the way up. Today we got to play Paynes Valley. Great views. I think I took more pictures than I did shots on the course today. And then hole 19 was just, I call it the roller coaster for golfers.
Yeah.
Because it's just an amazing view. I took videos, so I'll send videos. Maybe we can post them up. But it was great. Great time.
Awesome. Well, when you drive up, did you stop at the Fudge Factory? Did you see that, or?
I did not see the Fudge Factory sign. It might have been coming from the other side.
Okay.
But I did not see it. But I also did drive kind of during night, so I might have missed it then. But we'll look for the way back.
Look for it on the way back, and just for everybody knows what we're talking about. That somebody sent me a picture of the Uranus Fudge Factory, and whether you know it or not, it's an actual place. Chris, I looked it up on the website. It's an actual place. If you do pass it, you have to stop in and at least check it out. So please do that.
It looked funny in the picture you sent me.
Well, the website's hilarious. So it's free advertisement for them, but it's all the potty humor that you could imagine when the website for the Uranus Fudge Factory.
I'll take a look at it.
So how have you played since you've been up there?
Putting's been a struggle. I just spent probably an hour on the putting green with a buddy of mine that came down with me, trying to figure it out for this weekend. So hopefully it works out. Today we met a great caddy that helped us with Paynes Valley, and we actually had lunch with him. He kind of gave us tips and tricks for the next two courses. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully those tips and tricks only I have in my flight, but we'll see.
Well, you could share them here, because it's the episode won't. Actually, you better not, because the episode will drop on Wednesday, so we'll hold off on that.
Right.
Okay, all right. So who do you have for us out there today?
So we have the Arkansas Tour Director, Jerry, with us. He's the one hosting the event. Jerry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jerry, it's good to see you, bud.
You too, Tim.
Jerry, so we have, a 2-day regional here. We're playing Buffalo Ridge and Ozark, and I hear Ozark is a beast in itself.
Sure. Yeah, these are two great golf courses. This was where the senior tour played back when COVID was here, and where Phil Mickelson won his first ever senior tour event here at the Ozark as well too. But Buffalo Ridge and Ozark Nashville have been here for a while, and they're both nice golf courses. We played Buffalo today in the Skins game. It's in great shape. Putting probably running 11 and a half. So you don't want many downhillers, that's for sure. And Ozark is just a fantastic golf course. I know Chris played Paynes Valley Tigers course today, but I'm telling you, Ozark is twice as hard as Paynes Valley is. So it's going to be a tough couple of days. Good news is we don't have 104 degrees. The front came through, and it's only going to be about 90. So the weather's going to be perfect.
And I'll tell you this, Tim, I'm from El Paso where, the weather, we always talk about 100 plus. This seems hotter. We get dry heat, but this with humidity, I am not liking it. I don't feel like I come out of the shower after every hole that we play. It is not.
You should have been here Thursday and Friday. It was 104. Heat index 115.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, just be thankful that passed, because last year when we teed off, it was 102. So this is fantastic weather in July in Arkansas.
I forget it's July.
Yeah, just make sure you stay hydrated out there, and I mean, obviously choose the beverage of your choice, but I would suggest that you have plenty of water in whatever other beverage you choose to.
Yeah, these courses out here are great about taking care of. They got cart girls, free water on nearly every 3 holes. So if you're not drinking water, it's your fault. There's plenty of it out here. So,
well, that's good to hear.
But we're going to have a good tournament. We got 112 guys here. Tee time start in the morning at 9:30. Last group doesn't go off till almost 3. So be about dark when they finish. It is a 6-hour round of golf. A normal round of golf out here is 4 hours and 40 minutes. So it'll take us close to 6 to play. So they're going to be long days. Got to be patient on these 2 courses, but there'll be some good scores.
No, I'm excited. I can't wait. Last regional I played was yours, out of town, at least a new one. And I think I took 3rd or 4th. So I'm excited, being in the new flight. But I think today I shot an 86 at Payne Valley, and I'm happy with that. Yard is a little bit different. I think I'm double the elevation back at home. So having to be able to use my hybrids and 3-woods a little more than I'm normally used to is a little different. But like I showed you pictures, earlier, just the driving range itself is magnificent. The putting is pure. It's true. So if people can start making some putts, it's going to be real low scores.
Yeah, we had guys in our group make a couple of 40-footers today, and you don't have to hit them hard to get them there. So there'll be some putts made, and those are the guys that are going to score real well.
So obviously putting is important, but what else do the guys need to do, to be in contention on these 2 courses?
Well, out here at Buffalo Ridge tomorrow, you got to keep the ball in the fairway. Playing today, the rough is 3 to 4 inches. And if you get out, and that's just the primary, you get out into the secondary rough, and some of this high grass can be a foot and a half deep. So, yeah, you better be in the fairway. Fairway bunkers are just death. You're going to be able to advance at 100, 130 yards maybe. So you want to avoid that. So premium on driving. If you hit the ball straight in the fairway here, there's always the fairways, the ball set up great.
Yeah.
So in the fairways, you're going to score. You get in the rough, you're going to hit 8 irons, 120 yards just to get it back in play. And Ozark National will be the same. Well, the difference at Ozark National is the fairways are a little wider than Buffalo. So you should be able to hit more fairways, but the greens have elephants everywhere in them. And you can have a 20-foot putt that may break 6 feet. So they're going to roll 11 and a half. So the Ozark National greens are tough. And they're not they're subtle. You can have a 3-foot putt that you think is straight, and it may move 3 balls. So a lot of it, you got to know that everything's going to go away from the mountain down to the rallies, down to the creeks, and you got to be aware of, where that is on the golf course. And it can look different and be in a different place than you think when you're on the green. And that's the defense of the course, that and the rough.
Wow. Well, I'm looking at the results of the Skins game today, Jerry. You talked a little bit about, but look, you had 2 eagles, one on hole 8 by Josh Neal and one on hole 15 by Kenny Holyfield. Do you think, there's going to be a lot of birdies out there tomorrow?
Tomorrow will be the scoring day. Tomorrow is the day where you're going to see some birdies. You're going to see some good scores tomorrow, and then Ozark's going to put them in their place a little bit. And so you're going to see some guys, and you're going to go, man, A-flat or shot even par today. and then he's going to shoot 83 and still be leading at Ozark. But today, like Josh, Josh hits the ball a mile. That one's a par 5. He busted drive and the ball's rolling out really well right now. So he hits the ball about 280 and it rolls out to 315. And then he hits it and he sinks a 60-foot putt for eagle. The other one, the eagle, I was playing with Kenny, 345-yard par 4 uphill. He just smashed the driver. It hit, and rolled 40 yards up to 2.5 feet from the hole.
Oh my goodness!
So if you can hit the ball straight out here with the roll you're getting, it won't play the distance that it's showing on the card. You're seeing a 430-yard par 4 that's going to play 390 if you hit it in the fairway. If you don't, and you hit it in that rough, it's going to play 460.
Right.
And so you're going to have some good scores here. But when you get over to Ozark, especially after being the second day, the putting will change. You won't make 30-footers because Buffalo tends to be a little flatter. It tends to be greens you can make longer putts on because it doesn't break that much, more than a couple of feet. At Ozark, it's not that way. You could have a 40-foot putt. You could break 6 feet twice.
Wow.
It's fun.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. You kind of scared me a little bit for Ozark. So
you'll enjoy it. It really is a lot of fun. The nice thing about Ozark, like I said, you won't really miss many fairways. You shouldn't. They're 80 yards wide. But boy, I'm telling you, if you don't hit the ball in the right place on the green, you'll have some fun. You'll see a lot of 3 putts and probably some 4 putting.
I had a couple of those today.
It's not hard to do. And plus the greens, at Ozark, my gosh, they're, 8,000, 9,000 square feet. So they're large.
Right.
So if you've got a back pin and you hit it to the middle, you've got 30 feet. You hit it on the front, you got 70 feet. If you 3-putt from 70 feet, you're going to be happy.
That's a good point.
So that's the key. The key is the iron game at Ozark. If you're in the fairway, you got to hit the right iron to the right distance. But it'll be fun. The guys will enjoy it. It's a great course.
Yeah, Jerry, is this the second year you've done this or third year?
This is my third year.
Third year, that's right. That's what I thought. Yes. So hopefully, some of the guys have played those, those courses before and have a little bit of course knowledge, which, would take away from Chris's
his anxiety.
Yeah. So,
I have a people last year we were only able to have 88 guys because of the number of tee times that I could get.
Right.
This year we were able to work out a little deal and get a little more. And I'm working on the deal next year, and we'll see how it goes because I had another 60 guys on the wait list that couldn't get in.
Right.
And so I'm trying to work a deal where I can do 2 shotguns next year, have an 8 o'clock and have a 2 o'clock. And maybe we can get 160 guys out here. So keep your fingers crossed. We'll see how that works best.
Yeah, I hope you can because obviously, this is a destination that, a lot of our members want to go to. And obviously it's a great setup and great hospitality out there. So hopefully that can come through. If you've never been
out here, it's just to come out and go to Branson, which is 5 minutes, and go to the river, great food. And then you have all the entertainment that Branson has as far as shows and music and stuff for the family. So if you've never been here, there is plenty to do for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot to do just driving up, seeing a bunch of shows and all these signs. There's Jeep tours. You name it. And then on property, there's so much things that family can do. I can't wait for this fireworks show that I keep seeing signs for. 4th of July at night, they're supposed to have this huge fireworks show. So get ready for some more pictures from there.
They'll actually have 2. They'll have one down here on the river, not far from us, and then they'll have one out on Table Rock Lake. And they're both like 45 minutes to an hour long. Man, they're fantastic. Yeah, so that's always going to be fun. And hopefully most of the guys will get done Tuesday night early enough to go see them. Camp flotters may not.
Well, Jerry, thanks so much for taking some time out. I know how busy you are with running an event like this. So thanks for taking a couple minutes to talk with us, and good luck next couple of days.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
No problem.
Chris, man, I wish you all the best of luck too, man. It sounds like you've got your hands full over the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm here to help in any way I can. I've already told Jerry, if he needs help, let me know. But I'm excited. I enjoy 2-day events. I usually play better the second day. So if it's the harder course and I can play better, maybe it'll be to my advantage, and we'll see how it comes out. Maybe we'll have to do an update on Tuesday night. I know you might be partying a little too hard on that beach over there, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing fireworks on the beach Tuesday. So I mean, I could call it on the phone. Maybe we'll work something out. We'll see how it goes.
We'll figure it out.
To show off his trophy.
That would be nice to take on the plane.
See, I don't even get to play, man. I got too much to do.
Too much to do. Yeah.
Part of the whole regionals, I don't even get to play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is the tough part. It's because, I mean, you're so busy. I mean, there's so much going on. You got to be on top of it. This, it's not as easy to run as a local event. So,
well, and if you're running a shotgun, it's not as hard. Everybody shows up, everybody plays. When you're running tee times, 9 hours of tee times, and you're here from 8 till 10 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
It's almost impossible to play.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But that's all right. I like to go watch anyway.
Well, Chris, we do have some congratulations for a couple other members of the tour. Our members play in our events, and they also have, go out and play in a few other big events. And first person I want to congratulate comes from the Louisiana North Tour. Angela Martin is a sea flight player from Louisiana North. We had the guys on a couple weeks ago with the podcast, the Pick'em podcast. She's from that tour, and she played in the Southeast Deaf Golfers Association tournament, 53rd annual tournament, and won that. So want to wish her congratulations on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always great to hear all these different stories. I know myself and Gabe's Arizona tour, we ask our members if anything exciting happens, please let us know. Because we've talked about it before, it's not just members, they become friends and some even family members. So being able to recognize those successes is always great. So congratulations on that. And we can't wait to see what else you do.
Yeah, she was competing against players from all over the country.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. So.
Yeah, definitely.
And that the U.S. Senior Open was this past weekend, and we had Brian Quackenbush from the Augusta Tour competed in that. And you have to congratulate him. He didn't make the cut, but that's the U.S. Senior. It's hard. It's hard.
I mean, you're playing against guys that have been doing this their whole life. They played PGA Tour, now they're playing Champions Tour. They do this for a living, and you'd be able to go out there and not only qualify for it, but then get to play and try to compete against these guys is success in itself.
Yeah. And, he finished at plus 15 after 2 days, missed the cut by 6 strokes. But, to me, it's still a great accomplishment. He beat everybody in his group, which is always the first thing, right? If you beat everybody, if you beat everybody in your group, you at least didn't finish in, you beat them, right? So, I mean, that's great. And, when we were talking to Jerry about, the keys to winning this week for you guys up there, it's hitting fairways and greens, right? And
correct.
Say it was same in U.S. Open, Senior Open. So, if I look at the stats, for Brian, he only hit a third of the fairways.
You're not going to score doing that in the U.S. Open.
You're not, and I'm not knocking Brian at all. I think it's great that great accomplishment for being there. It's just the importance of hitting fairways and hitting greens. So
Yes.
he only hit a third of the fairways, which translated into only almost 40% of the greens. Again, this is U.S. Senior Open, so the majority of players there even finish at over par. So it's tough. It's hard.
I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. There's only 8 players that were under par.
Yeah.
Well, when the cut's 7 over.
Well, it was not the cut was 9. Cut was 9 over. Yeah, that tells you something right there, right?
Yep. The winner won -7 in the Senior U.S. Open with only 6 guys under par behind him. So it's tough to even do that.
Was that not the ageless Bernhard Langer again?
Yes, it absolutely was.
68 years old.
And they're playing 7,000 yards. They played 7,000 yards on this.
Go back and watch the guy. He never misses a shot, ever. I mean, it's unbelievable at his age what he's still doing.
Yeah. So, Chris, you got your work cut out for you the next couple of days?
Yes, I do. I'm laughing inside, but I'm excited. I am super excited. I'm going to go out there, maybe spend another 30 minutes putting, and then we'll call it a night and do it all again tomorrow.
All right, guys. Have a good tournament. Have a good next couple of days. Chris, we'll be in touch, and we'll talk to you again soon, bud. Take care, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Tim. See you.
Chris, we didn't do it again.
What didn't we do?
We didn't say how to join the tour.
That's right. It's simple. All you need to do is go to amateurgolftour.net, click the Join the Tour button, and pay your local tour's membership.
Thanks, Chris. Membership for 2024 is open, so register today to join the oldest, largest, and best amateur tour in the country.